Shalom, my friends. Today, we are going to discuss something that lies deep in the heart of every parent, every spouse, every person who loves someone. We are going to talk about protection. Not just physical protection, but spiritual protection. I am going to reveal the single most powerful, ancient, and practical action you can take, starting tonight, to build a spiritual fortress around your family and shield them from evil. By the end of this video, you will possess a 3,000-year-old secret from the Torah that has been used by our sages to protect generations. But first, I want you to connect with the feeling that brought you here. Drop a comment below. What is your biggest fear when it comes to your family's well-being? Is it negative influences? Is it financial hardship? Is it sickness? Be honest. Acknowledging the fear is the first step to conquering it. Before we delve into this sacred teaching, I need your help with our mission. We are on a mission to reach 50,000 subscribers, to spread this light of Torah wisdom in a world that is often dark and confusing. If you believe in what we are doing, if this wisdom resonates with you, please take a moment to hit that subscribe button. Join our community, our mishpacha, of modern thinkers building a legacy of faith and strength. And if you are ready to go deeper, to receive the inner circle teachings that I reserve for my most committed students, I invite you to become a channel member. You will get exclusive content and a direct line to my most powerful strategies. Click that Join button below. Your support is what makes this holy work possible. Now, listen to me. The world is filled with noise. It is filled with so-called experts telling you to buy this alarm system, to install that camera, to get this insurance policy. And while those things have their place, they are utterly useless against the real threats. The real threats are not the ones that break down your door. They are the ones that seep into the heart, the spiritual maladies of our time: anxiety, depression, envy, baseless hatred, and the constant draining pull of materialism. This is the evil we must guard against. It is the ayin hara, the evil eye, not just from others, but from the world itself. It is the force of chaos that seeks to unravel the peace and sanctity of your home. So, what is the answer? Is it a magic amulet? A secret incantation? No. The answer is far more profound and infinitely more powerful. It is something you already have in your home. It is something you see every single day, but you have likely forgotten its true power. The greatest spiritual protection technology ever given to mankind is the Shabbat table. I know what you're thinking. Rabbi, the Shabbat table? That's it? I came here for a secret weapon, and you're telling me about a piece of furniture? Yes, because you think the Shabbat table is just a place to eat a meal. You think it's a nice tradition, a pleasant family gathering. You are mistaken. The Shabbat table, when understood and used correctly, is the spiritual command center of your home. It is a portal. It is an altar. It is the place where you, as the leader of your family, can literally create a force field of divine light that repels darkness and draws down blessings of health, prosperity, and peace for the entire week to come. Today, I will teach you how. Let me take you back to a time in my life when I failed to understand this. I was already successful in business. I had the big house, the nice cars, the financial freedom I had worked so hard for. My family had everything they could ever want, materially. But my home was not a happy one. My children were distant, irritable. My wife and I were like two ships passing in the night, busy with our own schedules. There was a constant low-grade tension in the air. We were living under the same roof, but we were not a family. We were just roommates. I remember one Friday evening I came home late from a business deal. I was exhausted. The Shabbat candles were lit. My wife had prepared a beautiful meal, but the table was empty. My teenage son was in his room with his headphones on. My daughter was out with friends. My wife was sitting there, alone, with a look of profound sadness on her face. And in that moment I saw it. I saw the evil that had crept into my home. It wasn't a demon with horns. It was the evil of disconnection, the evil of apathy, the evil of a family that had lost its soul. I had provided them with everything except the one thing that mattered. I had built a beautiful house, but I had failed to make it a home. I was a billionaire in the bank, but a pauper in my own dining room. That night I felt a pain deeper than any business loss. I realized that all my success was meaningless if my own family was crumbling. I went to my study, and I didn't look at financial reports. I opened the Talmud. I opened the holy books of our sages. I searched for the answer. And I found it, hidden in plain sight, in the laws and traditions of the Shabbat table. Here is the underlying problem, the common enemy. We have mistaken the form of Judaism for the essence. We light the candles, we say the blessings, we eat the challah, but we do it mechanically, without kavanah, without intention. We treat these sacred acts like items on a checklist, rather than tools for spiritual engineering. The Shabbat table is not meant to be a performance. It is meant to be a practice. It is a weekly opportunity to realign your family with the divine source of all blessing and protection. The hidden mechanism is rooted in Kabbalah. Our mystics teach that the home is a microcosm of the universe, and the dining table corresponds to the altar in the holy temple, the Mizbeach. Just as the altar was the place where the physical was elevated to the spiritual, where sacrifices were brought to create a connection with God, your table is the altar of your personal temple, your home. The food you eat is the offering. The words you speak are the incense. The unity you create is the sacrifice that brings down a divine presence, the Shekinah, into your midst. When the Shekinah is present in your home, no darkness can enter. It is that simple. The problem is, we have been setting the table, but we have not been building the altar. The cost of this inaction is the very fabric of your family. When the Shabbat table is just a meal, the week that follows is just a series of days. There is no spiritual anchor. Your children go out into the world unprotected, open to the negative influences of the street and the internet, because they have not been filled with the light of Torah at home. Your marriage is weakened because you have not created a sacred space and time to reconnect. Your finances are precarious because you have not used the Shabbat to draw down the blessing of parnasa, of livelihood, for the coming week. You are leaving your family's spiritual, emotional, and even financial well-being to chance. Now, let me connect this to a foundational principle from the Torah itself. In the book of Exodus, after the Israelites have left Egypt, they are in the desert. They are vulnerable. They are a fledgling nation surrounded by enemies. And what is one of the first, most detailed instructions God gives them? It is the instruction to build the Mishkan, the portable sanctuary. And within that sanctuary, one of the key vessels is the Shulchan, the table for the showbread. 12 loaves of bread were placed on this table every single Shabbat, and they would remain there for the entire week. The sages teach that this bread was a conduit for physical and spiritual sustenance for the entire nation. It was a source of blessing and protection. The lesson here is profound. Even in the midst of chaos and danger, God's first priority was for the people to build a sacred structure with a table at its heart. That table was not for eating. It was for channeling divine energy. Your Shabbat table is the modern-day inheritor of that power. It is your personal shulchan. When you place bread, challah, on your table on Friday night, you are not just preparing for a meal. You are reenacting a powerful ritual from the Holy Temple. You are creating a conduit for blessing and protection to flow into your home and sustain your family for the entire week ahead. The 2 loaves of challah we use represent the double portion of manna that fell in the desert in honor of Shabbat. They are a physical reminder that Shabbat is the source of all blessing, the day that nourishes all the other days of the week. I remember the week after my painful realization. I knew I had to change. I sat my family down, and I didn't lecture them. I spoke from the heart. I told them I had failed them. I told them that I had been so focused on giving them a good life that I had forgotten to build a good family. I told them that starting this Friday, things would be different, not as a punishment, but as an experiment. I asked for 1 hour of their time, with no phones, no distractions, just us at the table. My epiphany was this: the Shabbat table is not about restriction, it is about creation. It is the weekly opportunity to create the family you dream of. It is where you create a culture of love, respect, and open communication. It is where you create a spiritual shield. So that Friday, we tried it. It was awkward at first, but I followed the blueprint I had discovered. I lit the candles with my wife, and I didn't just mumble the blessing. I paused, and I prayed silently for each of my children by name. Then I blessed my children, placing my hands on their heads as generations of Jewish fathers have done. I looked them in the eye, and I blessed them with strength, with wisdom, with peace. I could see the surprise in their eyes. Then we sang Shalom Aleichem, welcoming the Shabbat angels into our home. We did Kiddush, the blessing over the wine, sanctifying the time. And then, before we ate, I did something new. I shared a short thought from the weekly Torah portion, just a small idea, a single lesson, and I asked them what they thought. And for the first time in years, we had a real conversation. We talked, we laughed, we argued respectfully. It was only an hour, but in that hour the ice began to melt. The atmosphere in our home shifted. It was like a window had been opened in a stuffy room and a fresh breeze was blowing in. The next morning, my son, who usually slept until noon, came to me and asked a question about the Torah portion. My daughter, for the first time in months, gave me a hug before she left the house. The change was not miraculous. It was tangible. It was real. I had stopped just setting a table. I had started building an altar, and the blessings began to flow. Now, let me give you the exact 5-step process to transform your Shabbat table from a piece of furniture into a fortress of spiritual protection. This is the practical breakdown. Step 1. Prepare the altar. This begins before Shabbat. The table must be set with honor, as if you are expecting a king, because you are the king of the universe. Use your best tablecloth. Use your nice dishes. This isn't about being fancy. It is about showing honor, kavod. A clean, beautiful table creates a space for a clean, beautiful spirit. Involve your children in the preparation. Let them feel that they are preparing for something special. This act of preparation itself begins to shift the energy of the home from the mundane chaos of the week to the sanctity of Shabbat. Step 2. The blessing of the children. Birkat Habanim. This is non-negotiable. Before the meal, the father and mother place their hands on each child's head. For a son, you say, "May God make you like Ephraim and Manasseh." For a daughter, "May God make you like Sarah, Rebekah, Rachel and Leah." Then you continue with the priestly blessing. May God bless you and keep you. May God shine his face upon you and be gracious to you. May God lift his countenance upon you and give you peace. As you say these words, you are not just speaking. You are becoming a channel. You are drawing down divine energy directly into the soul of your child, programming them with blessing, with strength, with protection. Do not rush this. Look your child in the eye. Mean it. Step 3. The Torah conversation. This is the heart of the practice. At some point during the meal, you must share a piece of Torah. It does not have to be a long scholarly lecture. It can be a single verse, a short story, a question. I was reading in the Parsha this week about Abraham's kindness. Where did we see kindness in our lives this week? The point is to make Torah the main course of the meal. When you speak words of Torah at the table, our sages teach that the Shekhinah, the divine presence, comes to dine with you. The food itself becomes elevated, sanctified. You are literally feeding your children's souls. This conversation inoculates your children against the foolish and dangerous ideas of the world. It gives them a framework of meaning, a moral compass. Step 4. The Songs of the Soul, Zemirot. After the meal, you sing. You sing the traditional Shabbat songs, the Zemirot. But Rabbi, I have a terrible voice. It doesn't matter. Singing together breaks down barriers. It opens the heart. The mystics teach that song can elevate a person to a spiritual level that speech cannot reach. When a family sings together, their souls become harmonized. You are creating a symphony of unity that resonates in the spiritual worlds, and creates a powerful shield of positive energy around your home. Step 5. Blessing after the meal. Birkat Hamazon. After you have eaten and are satisfied, you give thanks. Birkat Hamazon is a biblical commandment. It is not just a quick thank you, it is a structured meditation of gratitude, acknowledging that God is the source of all sustenance. When you lead your family in this blessing, you are teaching them the most important lesson of life. Nothing is to be taken for granted. This act of gratitude seals the blessings of the meal and extends its protective power over your family for the entire week to come. Now, let's deepen this. For those with young children, the Torah conversation should be story-based. Tell them the stories of our heroes, Abraham, Moses, David. Use puppets, have them act it out, make it fun. The goal is to create a positive emotional association with Torah. For those with teenagers, the conversation must be relevant. Connect the Torah portion to the issues they are dealing with. Peer pressure, social media, their search for identity. Ask for their opinions. Challenge them. Show them that the Torah is not an old book of stories, but a living guide to their lives. For those whose children are grown and out of the house, your Shabbat table is still your spiritual command center. Invite guests. Create a center of light and warmth for your community. And when you bless your children, do it over the phone. Call them every Friday and give them their blessing. The spiritual connection is not bound by physical distance. And here is the advanced hack. The mystics of Tzfat, the holy city of Kabbalah, taught that the food on the Shabbat table itself can be used as a tool for blessing. Before you serve a particular food, you can hold it and pray that the person who eats it should be blessed with the spiritual quality that food represents. For example, before serving the fish, a symbol of fertility and abundance, you can pray for your family to be blessed with prosperity. Before serving a sweet dessert, you can pray for a sweet life, a sweet new week. You are infusing the physical food with spiritual intention, turning a simple meal into a powerful act of spiritual programming. So, here is my challenge to you. I'm not asking you to become a perfect, black hat-wearing rabbi overnight. I'm asking you to take one step. This Friday, commit to these 5 steps. Prepare the altar. Bless your children. Have one Torah conversation. Sing one song. Say the blessing after the meal. It may feel awkward. Your kids might roll their eyes. Do it anyway. Your consistency will break down their resistance. Your sincerity will open their hearts. Here are your 3 immediate actions. 1. Today, go and find a short thought on this week's Torah portion. Print it out. Have it ready for Friday night. 2. Speak to your spouse or partner. Agree that for 1 hour this Friday night, all phones and screens will be put away in a drawer. No exceptions. 3. When you are shopping for Shabbat, buy the nicest challah you can find. Buy a bottle of wine or grape juice. Buy a new tablecloth if you have to. Prepare to honor the King. Remember the promise. The greatest protection for your family is not a security system. It is a spiritual system. The Shabbat table is that system. It is your weekly opportunity to disconnect from the chaos of the world and reconnect with each other and with God. It is where you build the spiritual and emotional immune system of your family. As King Solomon, the wisest of all men, wrote in his Proverbs, "Train a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it." The training ground is not the school, it is not the synagogue, it is your Shabbat table. That is where you build a foundation of faith that will protect them long after you are gone. Shalom, and may you be blessed with the wisdom to build an altar in your home and the courage to gather your family around it. May your table be a source of light that repels all darkness and a conduit for blessings that will last for generations. Amen.